Hi class, and welcome to Dr. Davis Explains It All. Today we are going to be talking about how do teams differ from groups, because that is often a common question from my students. Well, teamwork and the ability to work well as a team is more important than most people might often think. Perhaps you're going into the medical industry after you graduate. Well, a recent research study revealed that more than 400,000 patients die each year from medical errors in the hospital setting. Wow, 400,000 patients die each year from medical errors in the hospital setting. Now, with the right teamwork skills in place, how far could this number be reduced? Don't think about Don't think, though, that teamwork is only needed in the medical industry. Without the ability to work well in the team or the group environments, clients and revenue can be lost, safety can be jeopardized, goals can fall by the wayside, and so much more. So the need for effective team members is ever increasing in our society and even our modern, more globalized world. So as Maxwell states in his 2001 research, as the challenges escalate, the need for teamwork elevates. However, living in an individualistic culture such as ours can mean that teamwork skills can be difficult to sell to students. So why do we need these teamwork skills? And that's why this week's chapters are focusing on exploring the why behind why we need effective teamwork skills, and also the how and how to accomplish these in everyday life. So remember that effective teamwork skills can be the difference between that promotion you've been wanting, the new job you've applied for, the ability to work from home, because if you don't have effective teamwork skills, you are not going to be able to work from home because you're not going to be effective in working on virtual groups or virtual team environments. And so you just won't have the ability to work from home like that. And added flexibility and even our survival can depend on the teamwork skills that we have. So with that being said, what is the difference between a team and a group? Well, what if I were to tell you that all teams are groups, but not all groups are teams? So think about that. What if I were to tell you that all teams are groups, but not all groups are teams? It's interesting, right? Basically speaking, teams are specialized groups. So let's discuss how teams and groups really differ. Well, the level of cooperation between team members and group members can greatly differ. So typically, teams have a much higher level of cooperation than do groups. At the heart of all teams is collaborative independence, or basically stated, the need to work together in order to be successful. So team members who are working to advance their own agendas or their own goals will lack in the area of that collaborative independence that's needed to work in a team, as they're not working together, but rather they're just team members only in the sense of the name. So because of this, such teams are rarely successful in achieving their goals. Further, teams usually consist of members with more diversity of skills than are often found in groups. So your textbook describes most standard small groups as that of a potluck membership. So think about a potluck you might have had with your friends or in a church or wherever. So the textbook describes most standard small groups as that of kind of a potluck membership. Now, you might have a lot of desserts, but a few main dishes. A lot of times people in groups are chosen for roles not because they have the skills to complement such roles, but rather because no one else wants the role. However, in a team environment, a team requires complementary, not identical skills, so not too many desserts. Everybody kind of has a complementary skill to each other. And in doing so in the team environment, choosing team members who have complementary and non-identical skills, team members are often possess more diverse skill sets and are often used in roles which better blend with and complement the skills that they possess. So if you have a really good let's say that you're a really good speaker. Well, you might be chosen to be the person who speaks for the team. Let's say that you have great writing skills. Well, you might be the person to record the information that they discuss at all the meetings. So usually your skills that you have complement the role that that you're working on in the team. So teams also generally have a stronger group identity than that of a standard group. For example, I serve personally on an academic committee which is devoted to advancing knowledge through research. No one in this small group is distinguishable at our larger convention meetings based on our appearances. We don't wear name tags proclaiming our role in the committee, and we don't exhibit anything which might identify ourselves as separate from others who are at the conference. In fact, our committee really doesn't even have a name. We just kind of come together as a team to work through research. However, teams are generally we come together as a group to to work on our research. However, teams are different because teams are generally more identifiable. So team names are often important, and sometimes they're even debated on what the name of the team is going to be. Teams have a more sense of cohesiveness and unity, or also called a oneness about them, which is greater than that of a small standard group. Lastly, most small groups require only a limited time commitment and very few resources are required. For example, in my academic committee that I serve on, because it's a group, we don't really commit a lot of time to each other. We don't really need a lot of resources. We kind of work a lot individually, and our work is coordinated by the chair of the committee. So we kind of do a lot of independent, not interdependent work. And because interdependent means we're kind of relying on each other and we're working with each other. Independent means we kind of do our stuff alone. So we're more independent in the group setting. And we don't require a large time commitment, and we don't require a lot of resources. Another example here would be your textbook discusses that a small group, such as, let's say, a hiring committee, normally only requires a few meetings. Once the decision's been made on who to hire, the committee disbands. Little to no money is necessary to sustain that panel, but teams require substantially more resources, and they also require long-term commitments. For example, and I like this one because I'm a sports team, but for example, a sports team plays for a season and it returns next year, so there's a longevity there. They require a lot of resources as well. As we know, if you're watching college football or the NFL, you know how much resources it takes to keep a team going. And while some of the players might be different next season, the team itself still stays intact. So there's more oneness and more unity. There's more time commitment for a team, and there is a lot more resources usually required for a team. So as a whole, group members are the basic materials required for a successful team. And while all teams are groups, remember that not all groups are teams, as we can see by the information we just discussed here. So knowing what you know now, have you previously worked on a team? Or perhaps a group, or maybe even both? Thanks so much for listening to Dr. Davis Explains It All, and I hope you enjoy your week. Thank you.